Welcome to that 80s show, the place you go when you want to fix up the 80s. And that's what it is. If this is your first time listening to that 80s show, it is what that is. It's a nostalgia show. We're shameless. We figured out people like nostalgia, so we cash in on it. And if you're a long-time listener on the show, at this point you must be trying to win a bet because it's not normal behavior, Dory.
Isn't it? I mean, we're long-time presenters of the show, but I suppose that says more about us than anything else.
You know, I don't want to lump everyone in on it. I don't want to lump everyone in on that thing. But listen, we're not the only ones cashing in on nostalgia, Dory. You would have heard Super Bowl. Super Bowl, friend of ours, young Ryan, is. I'm sure you saw him in various NFL American football style shirts over the past few days.
Oh, he's a big fan, yeah.
Huge fan. A lot of people love the Super Bowl. Dory, do you care for it? Are you aware of it?
I don't care for it. I sometimes make an effort to watch the ads because usually they're quite good. I haven't got around to doing that yet from this year. I don't generally care for the halftime show unless it's an artist I'm interested in, which generally is not the case. So yeah, that's me. And as for the sport, totally disinterested.
How's this for a stat, right? I'm really not interested in American football. Like, I like NBA. I do not like NFL because here's the thing: the game takes 5.5 hours to play, right? The ball for this year,
it's long.
5.5, but it's purely for ads, analysis, and crowd shots of Taylor Swift. Because she's dating one of the players, apparently, right?
That I know.
Right. So the game lasts 5.5 hours. The ball was in play for less than 17 minutes.
That's insane.
Okay. So it's purely a television event. Hey, some people like it. But I'm glad you said
it's a spectacle.
It's a spectacle.
That's what it is.
It's a spectacle. So I'm glad. So firstly, the halftime show. Yeah. So what they've kind of done in the halftime show is, for the past few years, has been like a lot of 90s acts or early 2000s. So Usher, I think he was doing the halftime show this year. I mean, come on, what's Usher? Really?
Yeah.
A few years back they did Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Snoop Dogg, and Kendrick Lamar.
Last year was Rihanna, right?
Like, I'm not.
I did see a bit of that. Yeah.
Give me Journey.
I mean,
I want to see Journey reunited.
That would be cool. I think that would probably even be more to the taste of your average football fan.
I think so. It's like, if you get Journey to reunite and sing Don't Stop Believing for the halftime show, people lose their minds. You know?
Yeah.
Get Steve Perry on the phone. Let's figure out what's going on. So the thing I want to bring up is, you did say you haven't got around to watching the ads. And yeah, people do like watching the ads. A 30-second ad during the Super Bowl, Dory, $7 million.
I was about to say 5 million. I was close, but geez, it's even more than I imagined.
And an average ad is a minute. So average ad, $14 million. It's a lot of money. A lot of money to sell your stuff. But you haven't seen the ads yet. So, Dory, don't worry. I will tell you which ones to jump right to, because naturally I'm watching it from an 80s perspective, right? So who played on 80s nostalgia in this year's Super Bowl, right? So there were three in particular. A lot did something-ish, but these three were very overt, right? So the first one is Skechers, right?
Okay.
Opens up a guy. I assume he's an American football guy. He says, a lot of people say, or he says, I just want to tell you that there's no T in Skechers, right? So Skechers, no T in Skechers. Guess who smashes through the wall?
Mr. T.
Mr. T. And he says, I pity the fool who says there's no T in Skechers. T is always in Skechers. That's Mr. T.
Oh my God, I have to find this ad. I find it. I want to watch it.
Don't worry, it's going to be on that 80 Show SA Facebook page. And a new thing, Dory, I started a WhatsApp channel for that 80 Show. A WhatsApp channel.
Okay.
We got to do it because,
Right.
listen, WhatsApp is the social media of the elderly. WhatsApp is the social media of our people. Right? Because
But they call it WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. Maybe they don't understand. WhatsApp. So we have a WhatsApp
Yes.
channel now as well. Just look that 80 Show SA or find it in the show notes, right? Wherever you find this podcast, find it in the show notes. And we'll send it to you. So yes, it's Mr. T goes. T is always in sketches. And he is then doing like a whole bunch. He's fishing. And then there's a nice little A-Team homage where they like drop like kind of like a composite of an A-Team van. He says, I pity the fool who has to bend down to put on his shoes. It's fantastic. Mr. T looking glorious. Looking so good.
Can't wait to see it.
Mr. T is not always in sketches. Mr. T is always in Chuck Taylor's. Or maybe, no, you see, I did it again. B.A. Baracus is always in Chuck Taylor's. Mr. T is, yeah. Okay, so that's the one. So sketches bringing out Mr. T. The next one is for, I can't remember, it's Verizon or T-Mobile. One of them, one of the service providers, internet service providers. And Zach Braff, and I want to say his name's Donald Faisal, the guys from Scrubs. Zach Braff.
Okay.
You know the two guys from Scrubs, right?
Yes.
Knock on a door, it's Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa goes, can't watch the big game. I'm waiting for the cable guy. And then they say, why are you waiting for the cable guy? Because Verizon, I think it's Verizon, one of them, has got the best LTE. And they sing him a song to the tune of Flashdance, right? About the mobile service. Right? So it's a whole Flashdance thing. At the end, Jason Momoa pulls the water, pulls it down on him. Jason Momoa runs. He does a flip. The mouths drop open. Zach Braff's shirt, his gray sweatshirt, falls off the shoulder. Logo up. It's Flashdance. Guess who's standing on the balcony next door?
No idea.
Guess. It's Flashdance.
Irene Cara.
Well, Irene Cara is dead. One better.
Oh, shit. I forgot about that.
Right. One better. Guess who?
Jennifer Beal.
Jennifer Beals is standing on the balcony and says,
Couldn't think of her name.
Says to Jason Momoa,
Yes.
do that again, but this time take your shirt off. Fantastic Jennifer Beals popping up in a Super Bowl ad. I'm here for it. 60 years old, looking fantastic, Jennifer Beals. Okay, so that is, I want to say Verizon. I'm pretty sure it's Verizon. Okay, that is the second
I'm going to
80s.
go look for it as soon as possible.
That is the
Oh, you can
second.
send it to me on our new WhatsApp group.
On our new WhatsApp channel, guys. WhatsApp channel.
WhatsApp.
Go look for it. Whilst that 80 Show say Facebook.
So how does it work? You see, this is how old I am. I don't actually understand how a WhatsApp channel works.
Oh.
Like, is it a number people have to subscribe to? How does it work?
Okay, right. So I'm going to tell you. You go to your
Right.
WhatsApp. Okay, so firstly now put on your glasses. Okay, put on your glasses and put your phone really close to your face and go to WhatsApp. Right, WhatsApp. And
No, I need to hold my phone far away from my face.
it's some very close, some far. What are you?
Yes.
Okay.
I am. If I'm wearing my glasses, it's very far. If I'm not, then it's very close.
Okay, either way, you go to
Yes.
WhatsApp. Okay, so go to WhatsApp.
Right.
So WhatsApp
Okay.
opens, and I assume your majority of your font size is 60 points. Okay, you got
On bold.
the
On
bold,
bold. Man.
massive, right? So you can only see like one word at a
Massive.
time, right? So that's it.
Right.
At the bottom, it says updates, right? Bottom left,
Okay.
you go to
it.
updates, and then it shows statuses, and then it says channels. Yes. Okay. But if not that, just go to the show notes, and the link is there, and then you can join directly from there. Okay. Right.
Okay.
The final Super Bowl ad that leaned into the 80s starts off pretty innocuously with a pretty funny ad as it is State Farm. State Farm, I believe, is an insurance company in America, right?
Okay.
And it's got Arnold Schwarzenegger. There was a whole thing. He's like the State Farm agent guy. He's like an action guy, rescuing puppies from burning buildings. But they play onto the whole thing of how Arnold Schwarzenegger doesn't pronounce certain words differently. So he doesn't say neighbor, he says neighbor, chopper.
Yeah.
So it's a whole thing into that.
Okay.
So the whole thing,
All right.
they keep having these little vignettes. They can't get him to say the words properly. And then towards the end, they say, okay, look, don't worry, Arnie, there's been a script change. Okay, cool. So now we fast forward to the premiere of this new movie. And as he's about to say his line, they cut in and Danny DeVito is standing next to him, and Danny DeVito finishes his line. It's hilarious because they were twins together.
Yes, but not everyone would know that.
Oh, Dory. Why wouldn't you know?
Like some people are going to be, well, I suppose, some of the younger audience members would be like, huh?
Yeah. A lot of people completely missed it because you go, what is that guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia doing with that guy who used to be Terminator or whatever? But anyway.
No, that guy who was the governor of California.
Or that guy who was in that Netflix documentary like a year ago, who I don't know who he is. But if you don't, if you don't get that joke, you won't be listening to the show. So
that's true.
80s fans get the full payoff here of going, oh my word, Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger reunited again in the spiritual sequel of Twins. Can you call it that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there you go. So those are 3 ads that leaned into the 80s Super Bowl style, because that's what we take out of the Super Bowl. Who won the Super Bowl? Don't know.
Who cares? Isn't it the Taylor Swift team?
I think the Taylor Swift team won it. Okay.
Yeah.
The Illuminati won it. And, but great seeing Mr. T. Great seeing Jennifer Beals. Dory, really great seeing Jennifer Beals. Really great.
Okay, I'll check it out.
And then really great seeing the Twins reunion. These are things that, I think I would love to know how many people actually appreciated those things, especially the Jennifer Beals and the Twins sequel. But anyway, decide for yourself. I'm in a bad space. Oh, bad space here, Dory. We were very much team Pauly Shore in the whole Richard Simmons biopic. Okay.
Yeah.
In case you missed it, we obviously remember Richard Simmons. He was South Africa's version of Dr. Phil Joffe, the Body Beats guy. Go back, look in our feed for our interview with Dr. Phil Joffe. Fantastic. And Richard Simmons obviously copied him, cheap imitation. So Richard Simmons, huge fitness guru in the 80s, then just disappeared from public life. Pauly Shore, mine and Dory's friend. We have photos of him, so we're obviously friends. He wants to make a Richard Simmons biopic, right? And been shopping it around. Richard Simmons says, look, I don't approve this. It'll be unauthorized. I don't want you to make this movie. Pauly Shore's pushing ahead. The last we heard of it, Pauly Shore was at Sundance Festival, shopping it around. You go to Sundance, you try to get people to invest in your movie, and he had shot a proof of concept film. Okay.
Like a teaser, trailer type idea?
Yeah, more. Like a little film, like a little film that he showed around to go, this is the kind of movie I want to make. I found that film. Okay. I don't have any sources. It's on YouTube. You'll find it. Okay. Oof.
Damn.
I was Team Pauly Shore. The movie is tentatively titled The Court Jester. And I watched it. It's 10 minutes long. And let me tell you what happens.
Okay.
So remember, this is the film that Pauly Shore is using to get people to fund the Richard Simmons biopic. Quite weird. Pauly Shore, I imagine he's got a lot of money, right? I'm sure he's got other ways of getting people to fund his movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway.
Although maybe he, he hasn't done a lot lately. Maybe he doesn't have as much money as we think.
Could be. I mean, the royalties for California Man only stretch so far, you know. Biodome.
And Jerry Duty.
Biodome's not on a major streamer. It's on YouTube. So maybe he's not getting the money. So
that was a terrible movie.
Oh, no, nightmare. So in this biopic, so in this short film, okay, we're kind of like on the behind. It starts off, and it's just one scene just to kind of get people a feel of how he's going to be Richard Simmons. So we start off like backstage of what turns out to would be the Ellen DeGeneres show, right? And they have like the set that kind of it's all shot like really cheaply, naturally. We have this person in a very terrible wig trying to look like Ellen DeGeneres, and there is a schlubby guy. Okay, he's one of the kind of background assistants, you know, TV, there's people all around doing stuff. And his job is to get this copy of Sweating to the Oldies to Richard Simmons, right? So he can punt it on air, so he can hold up the DVD or whatever. And this guy's like super shy and he's super nervous. And he can't muster the courage to go to Richard Simmons. He finally gets the courage, goes, and then now the show goes live. So he's now standing on live TV with get that guy off stage. And now he's, I'm not so confident as it is. And now I've made a fool of myself and whatever. And then they do this like kind of like little fake interview with Richard Simmons and fake Ellen. And the guy in the back, he's like, oh no. And he sees a donut and he's like, oh, I'm going to, you know, make myself feel better with food. And then he's like, bites. And then the other people, you know, the director comes and craps him out, says, who are you? You know, I know you're the new guy and whatever, but this is stupid. Like, how dare you do that? Walks away. He goes, oh, I'm not the new guy. I've been here for 7 years, you know, that type of thing. And then out of nowhere, Richard Simmons appears backstage and grabs the donut and just starts eating it. And now Pauly Shore starts this whole thing about, oh, you know, every day I try to find peace. Some days it's about stopping a car in the middle of the road. Some days it's in food. And what do you think me? I'm Richard Simmons and I'm the fitness guy and I always shove a donut in my face because I just want to feel good. And some message. Right? So, yeah. Then it kind of cuts away and the guy feels good about himself. And so it goes, okay, this is the type of movie we want to make. So when we discussed this and going, okay, Pauly Shore, maybe this is his moment. You know, we've often seen it with actors. I mean, who would have thought Will Smith, skinny little Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, would be Muhammad Ali, right?
Right.
No one thought that. Tom Hanks in Philadelphia, actually, you know, he was kind of like romantic comedy guy.
He was all in silly movies before that, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
That sort of thing. So, you know what? This could be Pauly Shore's moment, right? He could be the guy. Yeah, no.
No, hey? Just no. Damn.
It's if you do not know Richard Simmons, you will just think this is just Pauly Shore being Pauly Shore. It's like, yeah, Pauly Shore, I really wanted you to be an actor. I really wanted this to work out, but now I'm not for this movie, so I hope it doesn't get made.
So Richard knew before we knew.
Richard, I mean, like we should have kind of known. I mean, he's Pauly Shore. I mean, he's never shown anything that he's more than Birdie, you know. But
I had hope because he's grown up now. He's old.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. No.
He's old, but he hasn't grown up.
No.
Got it.
No, you will find this. We will share it. It's a full 10 minutes long, so I don't expect you to watch the whole thing. But, you know, that little glimmer of hope we had that this could be the moment where Pauly Shore becomes a serious actor. Like, if he wanted that video to prove his point, very damaging for young Paul Y. Shore.
Well, maybe it won't get made then. Maybe it won't.
Probably not.
Okay.
Unless you want to crowdfund it, you know? Unless you want to crowdfund his movie.
Out of respect for Richard Simmons, let's hope it doesn't, though. Because, you know, just no.
Yeah, no, just and leave it there. And we really hope that's the end of it. So, segues nicely into our each week. We have a multimedia recommendation. Let's put it that way, right? Because
Let's go with that.
yeah, it started off with movies, but then we do TV shows, we do podcasts, we do ads, we do YouTube videos, we do whatever, documentaries. So we got back to the 80s or 80s related, 80s adjacent, 80s themed. And we just tell you about it. Like, don't watch it, don't whatever. We just tell each other and you. And Dory's going to start, and I believe she has a podcast this week.
I do. And fear not, no dolphin penises this time. So relax. Calm down. Okay? I feel like every time I say I have a podcast, I have to put that disclaimer.
I feel the fact that you told me to calm down after you said dolphin penises doesn't reflect well on me.
So I stumbled upon, so there is a podcast series that I listen to, not every episode, but quite a few episodes. It's quite enjoyable. It's called Search Engine.
Right.
And what it does is it answers random questions, not like, things that you can find the answers to on the internet. But for example, I'm going to give an example before I talk about the episode I'm actually going to talk about. So for example, they had an episode about why are there so many chicken bones on the street? Anyway, turns out it's rats. But the way that they found this out was that they actually set up like GoPros to film garbage cans and piles of garbage on the streets. And they literally saw the rats going into the bags where people had thrown away their almost completely eaten chicken, drag the chicken out of the bag, eat it, and then throw the bones on the floor. They have footage of this. So it's that kind of show where they just do really interesting, bizarre things to answer bizarre questions like that. So this episode was kind of different, but I really, really enjoyed it. And I wanted to talk about it on the show because if anyone like me was a fan of all those John Hughes movies in the 80s.
Before you move on from the rats, right? So I went through a stage where I found like pigeons and small birds like brutalized in my garden. Brutalized. And I was like, I have a cat, but my cat's very domestic. She doesn't knock out. She couldn't catch anything.
Yeah.
It's not my cat. I go, it could be a neighborhood cat, but I was like, that is like, it's brutalized, right? Like those birds are, it's not a cat. It's something stronger than a cat. Then I thought, oh my God, is it witchcraft? Like honestly, because they were being strategically placed on my driveway. For a little bit, I was like, oh, no, like, is this witchcraft?
Like a warning? Like a message?
I was like, what is
like,
this?
Stop doing that 80 show or else.
You know, Satanic Panic, Gert van Rooyen,
Maybe
he's like, I don't know what it is, okay? Crows, Dory. Crows. They were like...
Crows were killing other birds?
Fucking up other birds. That's the only way to say it. They were ripping them limb from limb, like organs out. Organs. There's two massive crows.
Crows were cannibals?
Oh my God, Dory.
Cannibals.
They are, like, I don't know if they're cannibals. They just like the kill. They are it was so violent, Dory. So violent. It shocked me to my core that I thought it was Satanists. But anyway.
Well, when in doubt, it usually is Satanists. Yes, when in doubt, it usually is Satanists.
That was the payoff line of the 80s. When in doubt, Satanists. Done.
Right. Exactly. So if you are a fan like me of all the John Hughes movies, and, especially the favorites that we've mentioned, you're going to love this interview. It is an interview with Molly Ringwald. But it is the best, not like I've listened to a ton of interviews with Molly Ringwald, but I know that this is probably the best interview with her because the host of the show and her are good friends. And she even admits in the interview that she usually holds back in interviews, but because they're buds, she was like kind of letting it all hang out in this interview and being extremely honest and sharing lots of personal stuff that she ordinarily wouldn't have shared. And the interview is just over an hour long. The episode is called, so again, the podcast is called Search Engine, and the episode is called How Do You Survive Fame? And that was the premise of the interview. So I'll read you the description because it completely explains what you're going to get. Actor Molly Ringwald joins us to talk about a time in her life when her job was to pretend to be a normal American teenager, a job which made it impossible to actually be a normal American teenager. How did she learn to survive? In an era when the internet has turned many more people into public figures, what can everybody else learn from her? And it's so interesting because she talks about all of the things like you know her from the movies, right? And you know how young she was. I mean, she was 15 when they did 16 Candles. She was really young. And that's all you know, but that's the side you know is the movie. So she talks about what was going on behind the scenes. She talks about how she was in some, like it was like a movie school. She couldn't go to normal school. She had to be in a school that all acting kids went to, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it was really, really interesting because she talks about how, first of all, how it all happened for her, how she actually started kind of performing when she was really young. Her dad was a famous musician and she got on stage and sang when she was very, very little. Then she was in a production of Annie as a young child, like a theater production. She goes into basically her whole life story and then gets into how she thinks she got through it because so many child actors didn't get through it in a good way. Like she never became a drug addict or, like any of those things. She even refers to the thing that really struck. She was at school with Jason Bateman. She said they were at the same school together. you know, it's like,
how has it taken us this long to find that out?
I mean, exactly right. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that. Didn't come up in that other J Bay docu that I spoke about before. But anyway, yeah, and she just talks about specifically why she thinks she was okay with it and how she actually had to stop her kids from going into acting too young because they wanted to. And she was like, no. People don't come out of this well. And her kids even said to her, but you did. And she was like, I'm the exception.
Is there any discussion? Because there was... I don't think there was any mischief in it, but she was definitely, would you go as far as saying John Hughes's muse, a John Hughes muse, right?
John Hughes muse. Well, I mean, she talks about how, they just really got along so well. And yeah, I mean, I think, also remember, we've had this discussion, how things were so different back then. Like and there's an article, she wrote that amazing long article about how when she looks back at her role as Claire in The Breakfast Club, she sees how terribly problematic it is. And she was so young at the time as well. But at the time, it all seemed perfectly fine because it was the 80s, right? But yeah, she does mention working with him a little bit. She mentions working with a few other directors as well because she in fact, she's done a bunch of movies that I didn't even know about, which I need to actually kind of go and track down now.
You didn't know that she was in Riverdale?
No, I did watch Riverdale, but she's a grown up in Riverdale. She's a mother.
Yes, I know, but you watched Riverdale.
Oh, yeah.
You knew she was there. You didn't know it was Molly Ringwald.
No, she was unrecognizable. I think I figured it out by her voice more than anything else because her voice has.
Yeah.
And you know that she sings and she has an album? Did you know that?
It doesn't surprise me.
And yeah, I mean, they even play a bit of like the singing. It's a really worthwhile thing to listen to because also PJ, the host of the show, is he's just a great host and he's a good interviewer. And because they're friends, it's just so fun and relaxed and, enjoyable to listen to. So short and sweet. That's my recommendation for this week.
That is Dory's recommendation. Search Engine. I think in general, I want to check out Search Engine. But if we're going to start, let's start off with a Molly Ringwald episode. Yeah. Why not?
Called How Do You Survive Fame? It was released a couple of weeks ago.
It's almost as if you and I had done some prep for the show because that is a great segue into my movie, right?
Yes.
Of teenage or child stars ending up behind bars.
Okay.
I just want to rhyme
today.
So here's the biggest story. Sorry, Dory, and the rest of you listeners out there. You guys are shit out of luck because I found something. I discovered something I'm very happy about. If you got a smart TV, right, you would be like, you open it up, Android in particular, and you look at it and there is, you got like all the free inbuilt apps that they're like suggest or whatever. And there's one called Plex, right? I see Plex. I'm like, okay, what is it? Open, and it's like streaming platform, all the movies free, thousands of titles free. So I'd seen it, but I'd never opened it. So I was like, okay, let me open this, see, who knows what's going on. So I see, and there's there's titles. There's like a lot of stuff you don't recognize, but every now and again there'll be like, oh, I know that show. So of course, what I do, I search 80s.
Right.
Oh, Dory. The 80s section on Plex is like walking into, remember, in the video shop.
Yes.
You walk in, the new releases there straight away. Okay, my video shop, the new releases were on the left-hand side.
Okay.
As you walked in the door, all the new releases, because they're there. That's what they want.
Yes.
And as you go down, you start either seeing, depends on your video shop. Some use the little like key tags, to signify in or out movies.
Right.
Some was that just remove the title or put a sticker on the title, on the cover. And now you walk in and you get there late on a Saturday. Movies are out, movies are out, movies are out, movies. And you now start walking down the aisle. You walk past the counter and they like look at you like, no movies for you. And then you start walking further and further down towards the back of the video shop. Not the seedy part of it, just like...
Not the part through the curtain.
No. You're going past the B grade and the C grade and the D grade. And Plex is that section of the video shop, the virtual It is like we've often spoke about the Canon production films where they kind of took American Ninja. Hey, that's a big name. We're going to make Ninja in America. Like where you had RoboCop, they had Robotic Cop. It's all of those movies on Plex.
So what you're saying is this is your home, like your favorite thing on earth in one place.
Oh my word, there are some sitcoms on there, 80s sitcoms. And again, the ones that went, you sit down, oh, brilliant, who's the boss? And then it's like, oh, brilliant, Night Court. Oh, brilliant, this show. And that you remember watching because it wasn't who's the boss. That is what Plex is full of.
Okay.
So for the next couple of weeks,
oh dear,
this is a not sponsored section, okay? But it'll be a section called Paulo's Plex Appeal. Okay, or Paulo gets Plexi, or Paulo the Plex machine. Okay, you see where I'm going with this. Plexi Paulo. This is what's happening now, right? So, but I do start off, Dory, with a relatively-ish well-known movie.
Okay.
That actually ties nicely into your theme because of the stars of it. So, I need you to pay a bit of attention because it is a body swap movie.
Okay.
But it's a little bit different. So you have this high school guy. Okay, I'll reveal who he is later. You have this high school guy, and for 80s movies, he's neither a nerd or a jock. He's quite an in-betweener. And in 80s movies, that wasn't regular. You're either the nerd or the jock.
Yeah.
Quite an in-betweener dude. Got a bit of an obsession with Michael Jackson-ish, right? And he's got a girlfriend, this girl, he really wants to go. Well, doesn't have a girlfriend, he's got a crush, and right. And every day on the way to school, he cuts across this old man neighbor's garden. And this neighbor is like a little bit of a shoo-wow, hippie type of dude, like, ethereal, does like astro traveling, And he has discovered this way to like take himself onto another plane that when him and his wife die, before they die, they're going to go onto this plane so that they never die together. They never die, right? So he's figured out this meditation alpha state. Like absolute bullshit, right? But he's like figured this out.
Okay.
So they have to do it on a specific day of the year when the moon's X, Y, Z, whatever. On this specific day, so they're not going to die now, but if they do it while they're living, they reach this plane, and then when they die, they just go back to that plane and they live forever. At this exact moment that it happens now, this young teenage guy runs across, not looking where he's going, runs into the old man, and now the whole thing actually does happen, but they swap bodies. Everyone involved swaps bodies.
Okay.
So the young kid ends up in the old man's body. Old man ends up in the young kid's body. His girlfriend, who was also there, or his crush, ends up in the old lady's body, and the old lady goes into her body. The only person that's got recollection of it is the old man in the young kid's body. So the old man is in the young kid's body, and everybody has like kind of like varying degrees of memory of what happened, but the only one who's 100% conscious of what's happened, old man in the young guy's body. And now he has to now go about a whole bunch of shenanigans. He has to reverse it. But on the way, of course, it's an old man in a young guy's body. So he's super good at school. Suddenly he knows how to charm ladies. He really leans into this Michael Jackson thing and learns how to, now, because he's, young again and got, he's got energy so they can, So why it ties nicely in is because it featured the double whammy of both 80s Corys, Dory, Corey Haim and Corey Feldman.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So in the switcheroo, because normally Corey Haim was the star, Corey Haim is the best friend guy, and Corey Feldman is the main actor now. He's the main star of this. Okay. So he's the main kid. Corey Haim plays his best friend. Now, Corey Haim's part got rewritten because just before the movie, Corey Haim got hit by a car and broke his leg. So they had to give him like a bit of a diminished role in this movie.
Oh, okay.
So they go through shenanigans. Guess what? They actually do flip bodies back around, whatever. The movie was shot 1989 where Corey Haim and Corey Haim and Corey Feldman, they were like pin-up deluxe in the 80s, right?
Oh, yeah. I was always more into Corey Feldman, more my type.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Long black hair. More gothic looking.
Indeed. And the pout.
Right.
Yeah, the pout.
Yeah. Where Corey Haim was boy next door, football star looking, where Corey Feldman was a little bit more emo looking. Yeah.
Exactly.
I can see it.
Yeah.
The thing, and they were notorious. They had been in a couple of movies together. They were friends from childhood, but they were notorious partiers. Yeah. And this movie was done in the heart, like in the middle of their like crazy drug binges. And boy, oh boy, it shows. Okay. You can see they are high as shit right through this movie. That like if they remember more than 20% of this movie, I would be shocked. Okay, well, Corey felt like they are high as kites. It's just like you just see their eyes are distant. They're just even Corey Feldman, his skin looks weird. Like he just looks translucent. So like when he does the Michael Jackson thing, looks like Michael Jackson looked in the 90s. In the 80s.
A precursor.
Right? It's so odd because like watching it now, you go, oh, he looks like Michael Jackson. And so you think, well, hold on a second. Michael Jackson didn't look like that till the 90s. He wasn't that pale. So that is a huge thing on it. But what it got me into is this thing of like, why were body swap movies and time travel such big premises in 80s movies, right?
Yeah,
so like
true.
Kind of like I watched the movie on Plex. Then I said that like it was sponsored. Plex haven't sponsored this. I watched the movie. And then I read up a little bit about it. And I found one article that talks about like why body swap. There were so many body swaps in the 80s, body swap movies. Like just think there was like there was Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday was 70s, but yes, it was like late 70s.
Yes, okay.
Before. Yeah.
Right. What was there? Big.
There was the one with Kurt Cameron.
There was the one with Kurt Cameron and George Burns. There was just loads in there. There was just a lot of body swap.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they say the reason is, they say because, and the time travel and the body swap, they say, and it was normally like a young person and an old person. And they say a lot of the directors who were making movies in the 80s were kids of the 50s and 60s. And now suddenly in the 80s, you have this like boom of technology, like that first like major boom of technology and like household electronics and that. And the difference between, like we made a joke earlier talking about people saying what's up and whatever. But they were saying, back in the 80s, like the generation gap between like the directors and their parents, especially when it came to how the world was changing, access to information and technology, it honestly felt like complete different worlds. So these people who grew up in the 50s, or people that actually grew up in the 30s, having kids in the 50s, and now the kids are now working in the 70s and 80s, those guys who grew up in the 30s, like just I don't understand anything. And like the play on, because now if you do like a body swap, it's like, if you hit the 15, 20-year gap, it's not that wild. It's not that like crazy.
Yeah.
But if you go like the gap, it's really like complete fish out of water, different worlds. And it was a really interesting concept beyond just like the time travel and things. It was like, that's kind of like deeper point of what they're trying to get at, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I found that quite interesting because there were lots of those sorts of movies through there.
Paulo, what is the name of this movie? You still haven't told us.
Oh, the name of the movie is, and leans so perfectly into this old and young, based on one of those old classic songs, Dream a Little Dream. We've all heard that song, Dream a Little Dream.
I don't think I've seen this.
No, it's wild that you wouldn't have seen it because it's the Coreys.
Exactly, but it doesn't sound familiar. It's crazy.
No, because it's body swap. You probably, in your brain, you would have just categorized it with other body swap movies. So if you do want to have a gander, it's not only is it on Plex, not sponsored, but the full movie is also on YouTube, which is normally a great precursor. Excellent. The full movie's there. Go check it out. It's not, you know what? It's not the worst. It's so silly. There's a lot of things to look for in it.
But you didn't even say that the old man's played by Harry Dean Stanton, who's one of my favorite actors.
Well, Dory, I know that Harry Dean Stanton is one of your favorite
No,
actors. No, the old man wasn't. Jason Robards was the old man.
Oh, okay. So I see that Harry Dean Stanton's in it, though.
Yeah, he was a teacher. He was a teacher. So that's a movie, Dream a Little Dream. But I do want to say to you, I then found out, I said, because obviously Corey Haim passed away. What's Corey Feldman up to? Where's he been? You know, we talk about child stars.
The last thing I saw, he was like trying to get people arrested in Hollywood for doing bad things to kids. That's the last thing I saw.
That was the thing. The thing. So, you know, he goes back and saying, look, you know, obviously it wasn't great in Hollywood as a kid. And yeah, he was kind of like Me Too, having his own Me Too moment. But he's so discredited because of the way he's behaved. Yeah. People didn't get groundswell because he also wasn't the best dude. So people are kind of like, oh, well, what's your motive here? Mm-hmm. But he performs music, right? He plays clubs and he's a musician. And he lost his jacket.
He lost his jacket. What?
So on the cover of this movie, Dream a Little Dream, it's very 80s movie cover. You've got the girl of affection sitting on the name of the title. You got the two Coreys both side. And in it, Corey Feldman's wearing this black leather jacket. Now, this is his lucky jacket for some reason. He's held on to it since the 80s. He still performs in it. It's his lucky jacket. And it's been stolen once, and it was returned to him. They found it in a flea market, and it got stolen in the middle of last year again from a gig. Okay, so the search is on for Corey Feldman's jacket. It's a super 80s jacket.
It looks like a Michael Jackson type jacket, actually.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Leather, got studs, and he's been wearing it on stage ever since the 80s. It's like his go-to jacket.
It must smell terrible.
Can you imagine?
Because you can't really wash it.
I didn't even think about this. I didn't even think about the smell. Surely he's got access to like dry cleaners that could.
Yeah, dry cleaner maybe. Yeah. Still.
Yeah.
It can't smell good either way.
Gotta worry. I don't want to speculate. Jacket being stolen, jacket being pawned. I don't want to. I don't know.
No, but I mean, then he would auction it because then it would get proper money. If you're pawning it, you're going to get shit money.
It's true because he has offered $1,000 reward for it. Okay. It hasn't. Yeah. To my knowledge, it got jacked like the middle of last year. Hasn't turned up yet. So, you know, we'll watch the space.
Tell the truth. Do you have the jacket?
Listen, there are many jackets I'd steal. I'd steal Andrew Ridgeley's white time traveler jacket. Mm-hmm. I would steal Michael J. Fox, Marty McFly jacket from Back to the Future 2. I would steal that jacket. Right. I would steal Michael Knight's jacket. I would steal Don Johnson jacket.
I was just about to say Don Johnson's jacket.
Don Johnson jacket. I would steal Mr. T's denim vest, cut off sleeves. I'd steal that. I'd steal Hannibal's coat. Steal that. Murdoch's flying jacket.
Right.
MacGyver's bomber jacket. I'd steal that. then suspect me.
Okay.
Corey Hart or Corey Feldman, I'm not stealing your jacket.
Right. Got it. Just checking.
Not stealing your jacket. Anyone else? If any of those other jackets, I've just incriminated myself.
You have.
I've not been stealing jackets. So that is my movie Dream a Little Dream and Dory's podcast about child stars.
I'm just looking at the picture of Corey Feldman in that article, like Corey Feldman now as he's older. He looks like Mare Winningham.
Who is that?
You know, the actress from St. Elmo's Fire? She was in St. Elmo's Fire. She was kind of part of the Brat Pack. But do you remember? She's like very thin lips, very like slanty. You'd have to Google her. But what I'm trying to say is he looks like a middle-aged woman in this picture.
Okay. That's an interesting take. That's an interesting take. All right, so we want to finish off on something. We're going to play the game together. Guess the 80s song by the first line.
Right.
Okay? So...
Okay. I'm telling you now, this is a very long quiz.
So have you done it yet?
I did it, but I did it a while back. So, and you know my memory, it's really terrible. So I don't think I would do any better now for having done it than I did the first. But I'm just warning you, it's a long quiz. I don't think we're going to be able to get through it in the show.
Let's do the first five. Okay. Now I made a mistake and I just clicked on the first one, so we have to start from the second, right? Okay. So we're just going to do the first five. We'll post this up, that 80 Show SA, Facebook, WhatsApp.
Right.
The thing is though, Dory, this website is from pastfactory.com. Please don't anyone read it because we'll definitely be 90% of our content for the next few weeks. Okay. All right.
Also, this quiz, they make it very easy because they give you clues. So it's not like you're only guessing it from the lyrics.
Okay.
They also give you a picture.
Yes.
And it's multiple choice.
Okay. So aligned with that, right? So the first word the first line from this song, 80 song, is "It doesn't hurt me, yeah, yo." Now, there's a picture of Kate Bush and the four songs. Running Up That Hill, big hit last year. This Woman's Work, Babushka, or Cloud Busting.
Well, what do you think it is?
I'm going to take a bet that it's Running Up That Hill. Right?
Good guess, right?
Got it. Okay. So we got that one.
Okay. Yes.
Now, the next one.
Next one.
Okay.
Let me do the next one.
You do it.
The line is, "You may find yourself living in a shotgun shack." Now, I think I would have got this one without the clue, but the clue is a very interesting image of David Byrne from Talking Heads. Now, which Talking Heads song is this? The options are "This Must Be the Place," "And She Was," "Once in a Lifetime," "Burning Down the House."
Because we're 80s X, it's once in a lifetime.
Of course it is. Easy peasy.
Correct.
Easy.
2 out of 5 for that 80 show. Next up.
Yeah. The next one's also very easy.
Now it's Madonna, and the opening line is, "And You Can Dance."
This is the only one I really love.
Oh, really? So
yes.
Options: Material Girl, Into the Groove, Like a Prayer, or La Isla Bonita. Dory.
It's Into the Groove.
It's Into the Groove.
You could do the next one. You're going to get it. It's very easy.
Clock strikes upon the hour with Whitney Houston. I Want to Dance with Somebody, So Emotional, How Will I Know, or Saving All My Love for You. I Want to Dance with Somebody. Bang. And do we make
4 out of 5?
Do we make a clean sweep on that 80 show? Oh, fuck. You can do this one. There are 6 very geeky looking men with the lyric that says, "I hear the drums echoing tonight." Those 6 geeky men are Toto. Dory, which hated song by me is it?
The song is, of course, Africa.
The song is Africa. I feel I don't want to end on that one. Let's do one more.
It's like the 80s song that we absolutely love to hate.
Oh, I know. Staying in the cheesy schmaltz.
Ah, what a great song. Great song, the next one. The lyrics, I've got to take a little time. The picture, a very sexy Lou Graham with his curls, foreigner, of course. And the options are I Want to Know What Love Is, Jukebox Hero, Waiting for a Girl Like You, and Feels Like the First Time.
All 4 fantastic songs.
All these songs are pretty fantastic, let's be honest. I Want to Know What Love Is, Paulo.
Well, Love Is 6 out of 6. We gave ourselves a little bonus, a little, what did they used to call it on Telephone Quiz? There was duck. They gave you a duck. I don't know. We got the duck. We got the duck. Oh, fantastic quiz. So hey, listen, that was fun. You said there's lots of them. Maybe we'll do more going forward.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you look, it says we're only 10% through the quiz. That means there's 60 questions.
Jeez, that was great working out, Dory. Very good math skills. Very good math skills. I would have just seriously rounded it off. Oh, so that has been that 80 show for this week. We are back into the groove. Dory, anything you learned from today's show that you would take with you into the week?
Well, I mean, I learned that I can watch the Coreys on YouTube tonight, so that's cool. I learned that Pauly Shore is just not the man we thought he was. I think that's enough for 1 week. Really.
Dory, Corey, Pauly,
Flexi Paulo.
I was trying to rhyme.
Flexi Paulo.
Just the poor Coreys. We didn't know what we know what we had. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Fleeting moment. Will there ever be a decade that celebrates Coreys, the name Corey, as much? You know?
Probably not.
Corey plus Corey means a cautionary story. Yes. Thanks for joining me, Dory. Goodbye.
Goodbye.